Hey everyone, it's Fim over here. If you want to keep updated with the latest from Maroon Talk, make sure to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You may also follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Pocket Casts, Breaker, Overcast, and Radio Public. UP Fight!
Hearing the audio of him sobbing with the basketball for the first time, parang it was really heartfelt, it was really heartbreaking. But at the same time, I was also happy for not just Jordan but for the entire Bulls. That
buti na wala sa New York, di ba? Kasi kung nasa New York siya naglalaro, mas low blow pa yung banat ng mga New York publications. So, nakita ko yan. Tapos, nakita ko yung reaction niya na parang sobrang nagalit siya.
Yung announcement pala na yun happened during a White Sox game sa Comiskey Field. Comiskey Park back then, which is now known as the US Cellular Field in the south side of Chicago. Welcome to Maroon Talk, the only segment dedicated for anything and everything UP Fighting Maroons. I am Fim Moran, batch 2010 from UP Los Baños.
Enzo Regondola, batch 2010, UP Diliman.
Jake Del Rosario, aka Jake Del Ro, batch 2019 from Ateneo.
Yo Jake, yo Zo, what's up?
What's up, sirs?
Let's get to it, no? Episode 7 and 8, the penultimate week, Nax, of The Last Dance.
Big word.
No? For me, it was one of the two of the heaviest episodes for series. Did you think so as well? Ngayon ko lang naisip yun actually.
Ngayon yung parang ngayon mo nakita yung siguro, ito yung week na hinihintay ko. Not just because lumabas na yung Space Jam, but because lumabas na yung siguro the bad side ng pagiging competitive ni Michael Jordan. Yung, alam mo yun, how he treated some of his teammates, meron pang physical suntukan.
Yeah.
Kumbaga
yung legit bad side. Or, actually, depende sa kung paano mo siya titingnan, no? Ikaw, Jake, what do you think? Pala, muna. Let's get your thought.
The episodes for this week, sobrang mabigat siya in a sense na it doesn't just continue discussing Jordan's gambling issues, but now you take into account the death of his father, and then you also get a glimpse of what his life was post 93, aka his first retirement. And then we also continued that series in 98, where you can tell he was equally as tired as he was noong 1993. So yeah, sobrang deep, malalalim, sobrang mabibigat yung mga episodes na to. And it just gets me, and I guess the rest of you guys, really riled up for the finale next week.
And to start things off, episode 7 actually, yung pinaka-unang event na diniscuss there was actually James Jordan's death. Tama ba? The death of his father. Early on in his career, pretty much more than half of his career, the early part. His dad was always there during his games. Kaya nung namatay yung dad niya nung 93, it really gave him a different, feeling towards the game and towards himself as well. So, it was the event that made him retire. Parang ganun, di ba? Tama ba yung pag-interpret?
Yeah. Kasi nga, from the time he started playing in the NBA, his father was there to celebrate all his victories and to be with him through the defeats. So, kumbaga, nung nawala yung tatay niya, siyempre mahirap yun for him na siyempre ano yun eh, kumbaga constant peace around you, around him, na siguro part of his being competitive on the court, off the court, was because of what his father was siguro telling him at home or before going to practice or whatever, sa outside, diba? So, nung nawala yun, syempre, paano, anong gagawin niya? Hindi niya alam. Diba?
Yes. And, tama ba? This was after the 93 championship? Or before?
Yeah.
Before, after, no?
After.
After they won it. So, nung summer, parang ganun. So,
yeah.
After that, when he announced na he's gonna step away from the game, dito naman pumasok yung pagpasok niya sa baseball. And little did we know na yung announcement pala na yun what happened during a White Sox game sa Comiskey Field, Comiskey Park back then, which is now known as the US Cellular Field in the south side of Chicago. In 2006, I was actually lucky to be there to check that place out in the south side. I also got to see the United Center where I'm at right now. So magkalapit yan, yung same area yan sa Chicago. And yun nga, south side siya. Baseball fans, ewan ko na nakita nyo kanina to, no? But it surprised me na si Terry Francona pala yung naging manager niya for the Birmingham Barons.
Sino ba yun? Parang nakikita ko yung pangalan niya. Nakikita ko yung pangalan niya recently sa mga balita.
Ikaw, Jake, familiar ka kay Coach Terry? O hindi? Masyado. Familiar siya sa akin kasi siya yung manager ng Boston Red Sox in the 2000s. Siyempre, I'm a Yankee fan talaga. Kaya ako siya, siyempre, Yankees Red Sox, rivalry yan. So, it was Joe Torre and Terry Francona. Usually, naglalaban. Ito yung time na sikat ko sa Jeter. So, I got surprised na siya pala yung manager ni Jordan at that time. At sa double A. Kumbaga, hindi pa to minor league, di ba? Minor league pa yan. Kung tutusin mo. To those of you who are not familiar, this is the third tier, in a way, of Major League Baseball, kumbaga. Kasi pagkatapos ng double A, may triple A, tas MLB na. Yun,
so, league.
Lower pa,
league,
before pa ng double A, meron pang single A.
Oo nga, doon ko lang nalaman na may single A pala.
Oo.
Akala ko nga double A lang. So yun, doon siya naglaro. For ilang months na di ba? Mahaba rin pala yung laro niya.
21 months daw.
Oh, okay. So almost 2 years pala.
Tagal din.
And sila Jerry Reinsdorf were actually saying na kahit kung tumagal pa siya sa baseball, he would have made it to the White Sox, the MLB, the big league sana. Pero apparently, yun pala, nag-strike noong 94 ang MLB. Kaya, tumigil din siya eventually. Yun pala yung nangyari.
Kasi yun sa mga malaking what ifs sa sports world, di ba? Parang hindi nag-strike yung...
Sa strike? Aware ka sa strike na yan?
Hindi, ngayon ko lang din nalaman. Pero yun nga, kung wala yung strike na yun, tapos nag-baseball lang si MJ, ano kaya mangyayari, di ba?
Yeah.
With 3-peat, babalik kaya sa basketball. With 3-peat kaya ulit sila. Tapos, alam mo, daming pwede mangyayari dun eh. Ano mangyayari kay Scottie Pippen?
Yan, oo.
Mangyayari siya kay Rodman, gano'n.
Magkakaroon ba ng would Phil Jackson stay longer in Chicago knowing na hindi babalik si Jordan, ganyan?
O magkaka-championship ba si Patrick Ewing, si Reggie Miller, si Karl Malone and John Stockton, di ba? Wala yun.
These are big what ifs in the latter half of the 90s, kumbaga. Yeah, these are iconic events pala. So yun. And with that, with those controversies, pumasok dito yung napansin ko dito pumasok yung pagkakaiba ng press, at least for the sports media, sa local tsaka US na ano. I mean Philippines, and sa US na media.
Bakit?
Kung napansin nyo,
Paano mo nasabi?
nung nag-retire siya, kasi dalawa yung napansin ko, nag-retire siya, pumasok yung controversy na baka pala may suspension lang, quote-unquote, si David Stern. Kaya siya umalis sa NBA, ganyan. Tapos yung pangalawa ko nakita was, nung nag-baseball siya, yung dinis siya ng Sports Illustrated. Di ba? Ganun tsaka flap sa baseball. Ganyan. And no, Sports Illustrated, kumbaga, I think they're the most well-known sports magazine in the world. And they went that low in dissing Michael Jordan when it comes to his baseball skills. If you do that in the Philippines, you get banned by whatever league na kung ano man yan. Kunyari, PBA.
Talaga? Yun ang mangyayari.
I mean, meron kang bad rap. Kasi dito kasi parang bawal ka umatake na ano eh. Ng athlete or team, ganyan. Wala. Talagang sobrang tabu dito. As mentioned, nung ano, parang example natin, nung kasunod ko yung kay Kobe article. Knowing what type of think piece na ano, di ba, na article, it's not really accepted well here by sports fans. Mostly dito yung mga yung mga as mentioned sa akin ni Engineer Aljo Dolores. It's more fan service lang talaga. So, yung mga pampagood vibes, yung mga top 5 crush na ganyan. Yun lang yung sports fans dito sa Pilipinas. Pero yung mga ganito ginagawa natin, yung mga what if si ganito move to another team, what could have happened, ganyan. Medyo hindi siya masyadong kumbaga accepted here. Yun. Well, it was negative din naman talaga yung paggawa ng Sports Illustrated about that topic. But then, look at them now, buhay pa rin naman sila. Pero yeah, if you did that here, you'd be like, I don't know, you won't even have a career anymore. Oh, that's what I noticed. Did you notice that, Jake? So, I don't know.
Sige, ikaw muna, Jake.
Actually, for me, yeah, sobrang, it just shows you how media can be biased sometimes. Because you also have to consider that Jordan was at his peak, at least basketball-wise. And what was super disturbing nung pinapanood ko yung episode 7 was after the announcement na namatay yung ama ni Jordan, there were automatic conspiracies by media mismo na, could this be connected to Jordan's gambling issues? Did Jordan set this up? Mga ganung rubbish na you'd only think na conspiracy theorists would make. But they're actually quote-unquote credible media sources actually making this rubbish up. So, as much as sa US, mas liberating, mas free speech yung media nila, I think for me, it was really such a low blow. And then, of course, when Jordan retired, there was this speculation naman na, was this a secret suspension by David Stern? Even the commissioner himself, at least when he was still alive, he said na there was no such thing. Jordan retired on his own terms, and he really planned this pala since the dream team of '92. Like, he was really planning on playing baseball. Had it been for, the three-peat. Because I think the reason why he stayed on more years because he wanted to beat Magic and Bird. Because never sila nag-three-peat in their career.
Yeah. Tama. So,
Nung nabasa ko yung sa Sports Illustrated na cover, actually, tuwa nga ako eh. Kasi, ganda eh. Very, negative siya pero part yan ng freedom nila. Tapos, kung makikita mo yung mga dyaryo sa New York, worse. So much worse, diba? So, nung nakita ko yan, parang
normal lang.
Okay lang yan. Wala yan, normal lang yan. Buti na wala sa New York, diba? Kasi kung nasa New York siya naglalaro, mas low blow pa yung banat ng mga New York publications. So, Nakita ko yan. Tapos, nakita ko yung reaction niya na parang sobrang nagalit siya.
Oo.
Bakit? Eh, alam mo yun, you're the biggest star in the world. At least in the basketball world. So, of course, people, you expect detractors, you expect negative press. Lalo na lumipad ka ng sport while you're on top of the basketball world. It's kind of, uh, sa akin expected yun eh. Siyempre, hindi ka kasing galing sa baseball as you are in basketball. And the world knows you as this very excellent guy. Tapos bigla kang nandyan. Your batting average is what? Not even 200 siguro at that time. Mga around 200 lang. Which is very, alam mo, pedestrian. Diba? So, yun, for me, it was there's nothing wrong as I did. It's more, dapat hindi nag-react si MJ ng ganun.
Yeah, that's all. Tama. That's another way to look at it, actually. Kasi, yun nga, no, you should know by that time na all eyes are on you, eh. No? Yeah, you're the biggest star in the world, actually, at that time. And you shifted suddenly to something na wala ka namang alam. Oh, sabihin natin wala kang alam. Kasi, yun nga, as mentioned sa episode, I think last time niya naglaro ng baseball was 19 years old pa. Tapos naglaro siya ulit 31 na siya. And considering those ages, hindi ka naman teenager na kunyari natripan mo lang basketball isang araw, tapos next day soccer naman, ganyan. So it's a totally different movement, it's a totally different sport. And considering na you're playing professionally, hindi siya basta-basta na ginagawa lang ng normal na tao. And one highlight niya yung parang nakita ko kanina was yung parang routine fly ball lang. Kasi outfielder siya, di ba? Hindi pa niya na-catch.
Kaya diba?
That says a lot. Hindi naman super challenging play. I mean, for the professional level, professional standards. Hindi pa niya nakuha. Yeah, okay. Talking about, since we're in the idea of being the best, lumabas din sa episodes kanina. I'm not sure. I think episode 8 na to. Yeah, 8. Yung pinag-trash talk yung mga teammates niya. Did you guys catch that?
Yeah.
Sige, Jake, can you wanna, elaborate on that? What did you see?
Well, before going to episode 8, yung very key point na kailangan din natin i-note is Jordan's last final words from episode 7. Besides, he really said a speech that kind of went viral on Twitter a couple of hours ago. Basically, yung sabi niya, again, medyo middle finger siya sa tanking ngayon because yung sinabi niya...
Ito yung napaluha na siya, no?
Tama ba? Yeah. Ito yung napaiyak siya. Parang his job is to really just give 100%. And it's parang his duty kasi everyone, whether it's Chicago Bulls fans, whether it's us casual NBA fans, we make it a point to give up 3 hours of our day just watching these superstars play. Kaya for Jordan, it's like his full responsibility talaga to really give it his 100%. So this segues to episode 8. It gives us a better context kung bakit siya nagta-trash talk sa mga players niya. I think if we'd have zero context, we'll think he's an asshole and all that. But deep down, I also agree with where Jordan's coming from. Kasi he had to work for everything. He had to grind his whole life. He just lost his father. Even when his father was alive, nakakaroon ng favoritism among his other brothers. So he had to go through all that. And then here are the newbies feeling all pakul and all. So for Jordan, it was his role, his job to humble these guys and to really give them that same experience that Jordan had to go through during the early years. So for me, I don't have a problem with that. And super nakaliw yung quote niya na you think I'm a tyrant. Well, you haven't won crap in your life. So yeah.
Yeah, true. Sige, let's bank on this thought. Kasi usually great players get misunderstood, or great people in general. get misunderstood for their antics. I'd like to cite an example with some players who are familiar with us three. Let's say, these are the players I played with, kahit pa paano. I want to share examples about Nico Elorde and Kiefer Ravena. If you hang around with them off the court, they're like two of the most clowniest people you'll ever. But then when you play with them on the court, they'll be beasts inside. It's like they're totally different people on and off the court. When you look at Nico, he's a super prayerful individual na when he's at home, you just see na he's super simple, yun yan. I guess. And if you look at Kiefer as well, he's a very approachable guy. If you see him outside the court. But yun nga, when they're inside, they demand the best from themselves and their teammates as well. And minsan, that's what people see lang, since that's where they mostly see them, on TV, playing basketball. But then, yun nga, even if they shout at their teammates for not doing their best, that's a testament to their, as Jordan said kanina, their mentality, their approach to the game, and I guess their approach in life as well. So, yung mga ganyang misunderstood moments ng mga malulupit na tao, it goes deeper than what you see on the surface.
Yeah.
And that's what most not hardcore sports fans won't really see. Especially in the UAP, since puro pakit na league yan. Kung may pakit silang mga mukhang badass na mga players sa court, you wouldn't really know, I mean, the impact they bring to basketball. No. Yeah, that's for me. Yozo, what do you think of Michael Jordan as a nice guy?
Hindi ko alam kasi hindi ko siya na-meet Pero sana ma-meet ko siya, di ba? Pero, so nakita natin sa episodes, minsan mapapaisip ka rin na kung yung goal mo is to bring out the best in your teammates, kailangan ba talaga ganun yung treatment? Kumbaga, isn't there another way na, alam mo yun, you make them better without getting into their ass, kumbaga. Without, alam mo yun, without, walang personalan, kumbaga.
Yan.
Walang pisikalan na mangyayari. Kasi feeling ko meron na, nag-survive naman yung teammates niya. Wala naman namatay sa kanila. Wala namang self-inflicted injuries na caused them to miss a few games, diba? So, I guess it worked out. Pero, siguro, in the applying it in our world now, diba? Baka hindi na mag-work yun ngayon. Or, kung ito try mo, it will work siguro 10% of the time lang. Hindi ko alam. Hindi ako nag-organize basketball. So, yun.
Interesting point. With regards to that issue, para sa akin, dyan papasok si Phil Jackson. Yung balance between those two leaders. Doon papasok yung si Jordan, aggressive, ganyan. As well as Scottie Pippen pala. We saw na he's not the type na aggressive din, ganyan, when it comes to talking to his teammates, ganyan. Phil Jackson can be both as well. Pero most of the time, he's the more mellow guy. So yun, dun pumasok yung balance sila as both leaders of this team, this organization. And that's why I guess it worked for them. Yung talking about Scottie Pippen, kailan pumasok yung niya? Anong episode yung nag-sit out siya? 7 ba?
7
ba? Let's talk about that. Si Zoe, anong nangyari doon? Explain mo.
Nangyari doon, down 1. Hindi, down 1 point yung Chicago against...
Sorry.
New York?
Orlando ba? That's sila
New York.
The Knicks. Game 3.
against New York. Tapos, so down 1, last 1.8 seconds yata. Tapos Phil Jackson drew up a play where siyempre wala si Jordan, diba? So Pippen was expecting I'm gonna take the last shot since I'm the main guy of the team. Hindi yun yung nangyari. Ang play ni Phil was Pippen will inbound. Tapos ang last shot si Tony Kukoc.
Rookie.
Tapos rookie Tony Kukoc. So sobrang nagalit si Pippen. Hindi siya umalis sa bench after the timeout.
Right then and there.
One ibang player si Phil Jackson. And yun yung nangyari.
So apparently, thankfully,
end of the game, Kukoc hit the shot and the Bulls won the game.
Yes. Pero normally, di ba dapat pag ganun, celebrate buong team, ganyan. Heading to the locker room, ganyan. Well, they celebrated din naman, but then, since they won the game. Pero they knew that there was something deeper to resolve, no? And knowing Pippen nga, hindi naman siya ganun na type of player. Wala siyang ganung type of attitude. Especially being at the tawag doon, being behind Jordan after all those years, diba? Ngayon pa siya magaganon na attitude na maggaganon, no? Like so tantrum or whatever. Jake, what do you think about that?
Well, I think for me, mali pa rin yung taking ni Scottie sa situation na yun. Because I understand na you're finally coming out of MJ shadow. This was your breakout year. But at the same time, like, if that happened like in today's NBA or say in the UAAP, chances are baka di ka palalaro in the next few games. Like, the fact that Phil Jackson has that amount of patience. Na umiyak lang sila, he just asked for an apology rather than doing something more harsh. Was very commendable for Phil. And for Scottie naman, I think I've been hearing a lot of tweets or a lot of fans saying na Scottie as a leader isn't really an effective one, and moments like that kind of prove it, because even if you're the alpha, you do anything for the team. Like, say for example, Steph Curry, right? The moment we recruited KD, like, Steph didn't say, "Oh, why do we have to get him? I'm the unanimous MVP. Like, I'm gonna lose a lot of touches." But instead of sulking and being a brat about it, he just, took his role graciously and sacrificed. And look where it got the Warriors. 2 more rings after the addition of KD. So, yung kay Scottie, I feel na it was kind of uncalled for. Like, it's just one play. I understand you're not getting the ball, but the fact that you're still part of the play, like, should already be more than enough, like, for a player of his caliber. And I think the leadership really of Scottie, like, we're starting a lot of fans are starting to realize na hindi siya talaga yung alpha leader that a Jordan or even a Kobe Bryant would be.
Diba?
Ang nakakabwisit dyan, nandun si Pippen noong 93 when Paxson hit the game-winning shot. Siya noong 91 when Jordan deferred to Paxson and Paxson scored 10 points in the fourth quarter against the Lakers. Tapos, simpleng play na ganun, hindi magawa ni Pippen. Parang nasang ka noong 91 sa 93. Di ba nandun ka?
What the F? And considering that type of situation niya, di ba? Usually, ang lalagay ng coach sa inbounder is yung magaling mag-inbound, di ba? Tama ba? Tama ba ako?
Oh.
It's an important role as well. So you wouldn't really put someone there na wala lang. So, considering na naligan ng coach mo na inbounder on a crucial play down the stretch, it says a lot pa rin naman kahit ikaw hindi tira. Diba? So, kaya I understand sila Bill Cartwright saying na how Scottie quit on them during that time. But, surprisingly, na-realize din naman yung mali niya agad. That's why the next day, I think he he still apologized to the team and everything went back to normal. But then again, dun siguro malalabas yung tamang mixture ng egos when it comes to building championship teams. So that year, they didn't win any. As well as the following year. So that's what happened. It was the year of the back-to-back Rockets. The years. What else did he not tackle sa episode 7? Ano ba?
The Warner Bros. Stadium.
Space Jam. Di ba 8 na yun?
Sa 8 na yun eh.
Tama. Ito na yun ko eh. Bago mag-The Return. Yan. Mayroon pang... wait. Kailan ba siya nag-Space Jam? Naglalaro na siya, no? Kakabalik lang niya.
Hindi, ano na yun? 95.
Kakabalik. Naglaro na siya ulit, di ba? Nakalaro na siya ng March eh. Mas talo sila. Yeah, tama, no? Yeah, so he got back already with the number 45. But then, things weren't the same. Story was... he got invited. In-invite si BJ Armstrong para mag-breakfast. Ganyan. Tapos, after that, inayas ni BJ dumaan sa Bertho Center just to say hi to the guys and all. And little did they know na yun na pala yung spark, kumbaga na pagbalik ni Jordan to the Bulls. Yeah. So, we played ilang games ba? Nag-playoff sila no? Nag-playoff sila.
Yeah, playoff sila.
They lost to the Magic. Tama.
Orlando. Tama. Orlando.
Nung semis ata. Conference semis.
Yes.
So, yeah, it was a different Jordan that they saw. It was so far from how he was playing before, after they won that championship. So, yeah, that became his challenge coming back the next year. He got more fueled again. Ito yung napansin kong team buong episode 7 and 8. Jordan mini challenges. Kumbaga, magkaroon siyang narinig man lang or nakita na something about him, na parang trash talk or kung ano man. Kung biglang automatic may spark sa kanya na talagang would trigger the best out of him. Napansin ko nung sinabi ni Horace Grant na yung sinabi ni Nick Anderson ata na
45 is not like 23.
Yan. Tapos nung mukha ni Horace Grant pagano na lang siya. Sabi niya, alam na yung ibig sabihin nun. Yung nalaman ni Jordan yung sinabi niya. So yun. Doon natin nakita na those types of words or statements brought the best out of Michael Jordan. Na knowing BJ Armstrong na kinalaban din nila ng 98 playoffs.
98.
When he was playing with Charlotte already. Dapat alam niya na yun. But then yun nga, ginising na naman nila si Jordan. And yeah, they knew what would happen after that. Napansin ko yun. Nakita niyo ba yun? Yung mga ganong statements na kumiliti sa kanya. Diba?
Yun yung kumbaga, yung binabasa ko libro dati, sa mga athletes. Elite athletes always find something to motivate themselves. So, kaya maririnig yung statements na, sasabihin sa press na underdog sila, we're facing a very good team, ganyan. It's a way to motivate themselves. Itong si Jordan takes this to another level kasi minsan hindi nga totoo mamotivate siya eh. Isa Wizards sa player, sa Bullets, Washington Bullets rookie na allegedly after nung isang game where that rookie scored 37 against MJ. Parang inakbayan siya, sinabihan siya, nice game, Mike. Tapos, the following day, inabuso niya yung rookie na yun.
Yeah.
Tapos years later, sinabi niya, hindi totoong nangyari yun. Diba? So, ganun si Jordan as a competitor. Gumawa siya ng sarili niyang storya sa utak niya. para lang ma-motivate sarili niya.
Kung normal na tao yun, isipin mo lang na sabihan ka nice game, di mo sabihin mo lang nice game din, di ba? Okay, thanks, nice game. Pero siya hindi. Minsan talaga yung mga malalapit, mga excellent individuals, may saltek din talaga eh. Kung isipin mo, no? Yeah, yun. That's what we saw during that, andito rin lumabas yung nag-away para sila ni Steve Kerr nung bago pa lang sila ni Luke Longley. So, lumabas na si Luke Longley. Yeah, it was his way of motivating his teammates. But parang siya rin ata yung si Steve Kerr lang yung lumabas na nag-step up for his own. Oy, Warriors fan pala. Jake, what do you think about that? Steve Kerr. That incident.
Una sa lahat, not surprised because 4 years ago, this was the 73-win team. Nag-away si Steve Kerr and Draymond Green. Like, in one of those games.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the game nung nag-game winner si Curry. But, yeah, nung halftime, as in, shouting match sila ni Draymond to the point na muntikan lumating yung police. Like, they almost needed to intervene just to stop the two from fighting. Yeah, knowing Steve Kerr, he may be very little, but he takes no crap from anybody. And it just shows na kahit a guy that stature, very skinny and all, he may not be as athletic as Mike, he may not be as big as Draymond, he may not even be the best player, but, if you piss him off, he'll be right, he'll show it. Like, I think nung mga huddles niya, he'd like chop the board in half. I'm not sure, but yeah, may mga instances he would literally karate chop the board in half. So it just shows you na he's a very patient person.
Yeah.
Mahaba yung leash niya, but when you reach his breaking point, he's the last guy you want to be beside with.
Yun nga eh. That's what I wanted to point out. He's also a nice guy when you see him on TV. Pero yun nga, being a coach din naman, you have to like have your way of firing up your players. Kumbaga. Yeah. Actually, yun yung notes ko for these episodes. Ano pa bang hindi natin discuss for these ones? Kasi,
yung sa shooting ng Space Jam, apparently, meron palang gym doon.
Sa Warner Brothers Studios.
Actually, meron ko lang nalaman yun na, kumbaga, parang yun eh. Lumalabas parang Dream Team Scrimmage Part 2.
Yes.
Kasi, nakita natin footage doon, nandun si Reggie Miller, si Chris Mullin, Patrick Ewing. Yung all-star lineup yun nandun nakikipaglaro. Scrimmage sila doon. Tapos, after pa ng long filming day in Jordan, so, naglalaro siya doon. Tapos may weights pa daw siya after. Sabi ni Reggie Miller. Mga 9, 10 o'clock. Tapos, the next day, ang call time niya mga 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock.
Grabe.
So, ewan ko. Parang hindi nga tao talaga si Jordan.
So, it was a mixture of his talent and his God-given abilities. To be able to pull off those types of workouts. And siguro nga kasi yung mga kasama sa Space Jam, sila Barkley, sila Ewing, nakasama
Sean
Bradley, yun, nakasama rin sila diba sa taping.
Si Larry Johnson.
LJ, the L Train. Larry Johnson. Kaya rin siguro nga nakatambay yung ibang NBA doon to do a workout with him after filming. Yeah, it's interesting. Knowing, parang wala pa may yatang ginagawa ng ganun na type. Papagawa ka ng court unless you're like a LeBron James or a Kobe. When you're like in a movie to work out or something. Yeah. Ang setting kanina, nasa na. Tapos na yung first and second round ng 98 playoffs. And they beat,
Pacers na.
and they beat the Nets, led by Kerry Kittles nga. Kasi iba hindi ko nakilala. And
Si Kendall Gill.
Kendall Gill, nandun pala.
Badmore.
The second round, tinalo nila ang Hornets. Tama?
Hornets.
Led
Sa
by
Hornets na yun, nandun si
Glenn Rice.
Del Curry.
Tama. Ang daddy ni Steph.
Yeah.
And BJ Armstrong, former Bull. Who else? Yun na no? Si David Wesley.
Andun na rin si noong time na si Anthony Mason.
Ayun, yung hinahanap yung pangalan.
Tsaka si
Anthony
Vladdy. Si Vladdy Divac.
Kumbaga, ito na yung na-trade si Kobe, yan. Ito yung masok ko sa, yan. Si Vladdy was a Laker. Then, na-trade, nung na-draft si Kobe, tinrade siya to Charlotte.
Yep.
Yun na, ang
What a steal.
Daddy. Na fan si Enzo sa Sacramento Kings.
Ano naman? Kings yan eh. Champion dapat ng 2002 yan eh.
Yan na. Ano bang nangyari doon? Naka 2 wins ba sila?
I think 5 games lang yung...
5, no, isang panalo lang, no? Nung... kasi ginalit nila si Jordan eh.
Game.
After noon.
Game 2.
So after that, nasa ano sila? Indianapolis na free yet to see. Tama, no? 98 Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm.
So, before that, yung 90... tapos na pala yung 95. So, 95, they lost to the Magic nga with Horace Grant and our young Shaquille O'Neal. And Penny. Sila Penny Hardaway and Kenny Anderson.
3D.
Nick Anderson.
Ay! Nick.
Diba si Kenny?
This was the glory days ng Magic before T-Mac arrived.
Ngayon ako na napansin, ang ganda pala talaga ng uniform ng Magic.
No? Yung doon tatatak pala yung Orlando Magic.
Right. Pinstripes.
Yes.
Ganda.
Bago lang ata sila team noon no? Expansion pa ba sila noon?
Medyo.
Parang gano'n no? 90s. And yung sumunod doon, yung T-Mac Magic na jersey. Actually, if you look at the Orlando Magic jerseys, medyo okay yung mga jersey nila compared to the other ones sa NBA. Kumbaga sila yung may pagka-timeless kahit pa paano. The teams, the jerseys. Napansin ko. Yan. I guess that's all. What else do you have to talk about? Ano ba napansin nyo? Ito pala ako sana napansin eh.
Yung Father's Day.
Yan, sige.
Father's Day.
This was 96.
Finals. 96 finals.
96. This. So, yun nga, since natalo sila ng Magic the year before, and he used that as fuel to his workouts the whole year, heading into the 95-96 season. Lo and behold, they faced the Magic in the conference finals. So, wherein they swept the Magic, tama ba? So, he got his sweet revenge. Tama, ito. He got his sweet revenge. Wherein they faced the freaking Seattle Supersonics in the 96 playoffs, led by the glove, Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, that left shrimp.
Yeah, that left shrimp.
Sam
Perkins.
Big Smooth, headed by the legendary George Karl.
Saka nandun din si Nate McMillan.
Assistant.
Saka hindi, player pa siya.
Ha? Talaga? Hindi napansin.
Oo. Saka si Frank Brickowski. Wala
si
Frank Brickowski.
Si Shrimp lang naalala eh.
Basta ang career highlight ni Frank Brickowski, yung binagago siya ni Dennis Rodman. YouTube nyo na lang. Frank Brickowski ni Dennis Rodman.
Okay, paitan natin yan. So yeah. So yeah, you guys talk about that series. Sonics and Bulls.
Ayan, 72-10 Chicago Bulls.
Ito yun. Uh, it was touted as the tawag dito. Ano yun? Ano sa term nila kanina?
Coronation, not a competition. Yan sabi.
Kumbaga sobrang mismatch na finals.
Oo.
Siguro pinakamalapit natin masasabi dito was ano, 07 finals between the Cavs and the Spurs, no? Una level.
Oh, tsaka yung
2018.
18? Oh, 18
Ano to?
Cavs Warriors.
Ano sino ba play nun?
Si LeBron.
LeBron na huli. Last ano niya.
Oo.
Okay, yes. Well, of course, we were too young to remember why. We don't actually know kung sino tinalo na Sonics to be in the finals. But looking into context, this was the year after the back-to-back championship ng Rockets. So, yes, this was the time na bago pa yung Sonics. And probably the West wasn't really as that stacked yet as now. Knowing siguro na yung Utah Jazz paangat pa lang siguro, ganyan. So, they faced the Bulls, the almighty Bulls, with a very hungry Michael Jordan, hungry for redemption. So yeah, and wala, they swept them. Ay, hindi. Sweep ba?
Hindi.
2.
4-2.
In 6. Oh, yung pinito ko na naka 2 wins pa pala. Ang pinakita lang was yung isa, wherein home ang Seattle. Tapos game 3 ata. Parang gano'n. Game 3. Tapos ito yung kumbaga sinutdown down ni Gary Payton si
Game 4 yata. Game 4.
Game 4 ba? Anong tingin nyo doon sa statements ni Gary Payton? Na tinawanan lang ni Jordan.
Tinawanan ni Jordan pero ewan ko, may nag-post sa Twitter kanina ng stats. 2 games na Payton was guarding Jordan. Tapos medyo malayo nga yung stats. Parang shooting niya 36%. Ano lang, 23 points lang. 23 points lang yung average si Jordan facing Gary Payton. So, parang may point si Payton sa sinabi niya. And I think point enough na when they switched the match up, nanalo sila ng 2 games.
Mm-hmm. So, yung 2 games na binantayan niya, panalo sila. Sonics.
At least, kasi yun yung nag-start na siya yung primary defender ni Jordan.
Okay. So, kumbaga, meron nga talagang effect. Siyempre, moving Jordan as the GOAT, siyempre hindi siya aamin na nahirapan sa kay Payton, di ba? If you look at it that way, you never aamin niya na nahirapan siya. Kasi, yun nga, why would you ever show your weakness to anyone knowing you want to be the best in everything in all the NBA, in all of the game. So, yeah. If we see Gary Payton's statements, if you were a neutral fan, you'd probably agree na nahirapan siya nung binantayan siya ni Payton. Pero yeah, if you're a Jordan fan, you'd never believe what Gary Payton said.
Tatawa lang din.
Oo. Super Bowl. If you're a skeptic, alam mo na yan. Effect pa rin siya kahit paano. Kasi kita mo naman yung tira niya kanina sa highlights. May nababother naman talaga. And he was actually scoring on him. So yeah. You, Jake, you have anything to add for the 96 finals?
Well, ako, for one, I think wala pa rin epekto yun. Even if Gary Payton was the primary defender. Because that just meant Jordan would find other ways to beat him. Kasi you do know you have Scottie. Because we also know that Jordan, for all his greatness in scoring, he's also one of the best decoys in the game. Kaya sobrang in place na yung triangle na knowing Phil Jackson, he's the master of like adjusting on the fly. The Bulls will just find other ways to, beat Seattle, given their weapons, given their talent. Now, as a Warriors fan, this is kind of bittersweet part of the episode kasi you have the 72 Bulls. They actually did it. They got the 72 wins and they capped it off with the ring. Meanwhile, the Warriors, you all know what happened. Yung 73-9. Pero wala ring silbi kasi we didn't finish the job. And yeah.
Saan nga
Sobrang,
natalo yung Warriors nun?
kay LeBron.
Cavs.
2016.
Finals. Ito yung nag-3-1.
Ito yung 3-1
Oh.
lead. Yeah. So, daming 3-1 memes kanina. But, it's fine. Twitter can be very
There.
colorful.
Okay lang yan.
Pero I think the most heartbreaking part, besides 3-1, which is whatever, we finally got to hear the audio of Jordan crying. Kasi I'm sure, years ago we'd see the picture of Jordan hugging the ball, pero walang audio.
Yeah.
Parang sa episode na yun, we actually hear Jordan sobbing. And this just brought me back. Napaalala ko, parang the three moments Jordan cried, parang yun yung pinaka-masakit. Of course, we know na during his Hall of Fame speech, the crying meme was born. Tapos, nung funeral service ni Kobe just a couple of months ago, umiyak din ulit siya. But I think, sa akin lang parang him crying on Father's Day was like one of the most painful scenes maybe of this entire documentary. Kasi, just imagine, you're spending Father's Day without your father. The championship game, so the stakes are really high. You're one win away from possibly the best season ever. And you actually do all of that, but then, naalala mo rin na your father's not here to celebrate this victory with you after, medyo being sanay na after every triumph, after every L, your family, especially your dad, is always there by your side. So, hearing the audio of him sobbing with the basketball for the first time, parang it was really heartfelt, it was really heartbreaking. But at the same time, I was also happy for not just Jordan, but for the entire Bulls that they were able to cap off, the greatest season, something the Warriors could never do on that special day, which is Father's Day.
Yeah. Oh. And hearing that, talagang hagulgul pala yung iyak niya noong na yun. Hindi yung quiet type na sinasavor lang niya yung moment, ganyan. Yeah. I think Jake said everything already about that celebration. But yeah, we have yet to see the 97 and 98 championships, which will be shown most probably
Next week.
Yeah. For me, ito yung mas nakarelate tayong lahat. Kasi ito na yung nakita ko ata yung championships. Mas aware na ako ng ganyan. Back then. So, kasi Utah Jazz era na to So, makita natin yung sila Stockton tumalon, sila Brian Russell, Jerry Sloan.
Hindi natin makikita si Stockton.
Bakit?
I mean, hindi siya nagpa-interview daw.
Ganun ba? Wala siya?
Parang may nabasa akong article ba? Few days ago.
Sayang.
Bakit siya papa-interview doon? Baka sabi niya. Basta parang
talo siya.
Ayaw niya maging part nun kasi
masakit?
Talo siya masakit.
Shit. Sayang. Siguro, meron din mga interesting points to si Stockton. Kasi siya yung primary, si Ron Harper pala ka-matchup niya. At least Brian Russell, hopefully, will be there. And Jerry Sloan. So, these are the most... yan, Hornacek. Coach ni Enzo yan. Sa Suns.
Galing yan.
Yeah, yun. That's it. Sige, wrap this up. Joe, what's your final statements for this episode? These episodes.
Yun nga. Sobrang competitive ni Jordan. Sobrang competitive ni Jordan. Yun naman sabi ko. Sa 2 episodes na yun, parang, damn, kahit nag-baseball siya, sobrang lupit niya. Yung work ethic niya sa basketball, nadala niya sa baseball, na even the higher ups ng White Sox saw the potential in him. Yung nagtuloy-tuloy siya sa baseball. Diba? It goes to show how dedicated he is to whatever he does. Ganun siya competitive.
Yeah. Which was, tuloy ko na, which was
Yeah.
very different, kumbaga, taboo in a way to the normal eye. I guess the journalists at that time would understand him, especially those who were close to him. But then as a regular fan, seeing him, siguro seeing the episodes kanina, siguro ito nga yung mga way na would tell them na would that they'd see Jordan in a negative way. That they somehow hate him, kumbaga. But yun nga, uh, deep down he just wanted to be the best. And he said kanina na he wanted to win at any cost. So yun yung that's what he wanted to achieve, and that's what he showed uh, to himself and to the people around him. May he be understood, so what for him, di ba? Basta he was happy with what he was doing. Kumbaga yung what people he stepped on in a way during that journey, it was not meant for anything negative towards them. Talagang he just really, kumbaga na, if they were just at the wrong place at the wrong time, kumbaga. If ever he was able to offend anyone during that stretch of his greatness na we saw. So yeah, he may be misunderstood, but there are reasons behind his attitude, which I totally understand naman as an athlete din. But yeah, if you really want to understand how his psyche works, in a way, that's how he is. Yeah, that's for me. Minsan ganyan talaga yung athletes eh. Sige, Jake, finish this off. What's your final thought?
Final thoughts? Well, una sa lahat, yung fear factor niya is just insane. The fact that players actually fear MJ more than their coach. Usually kasi kapag player ka, yung nakakatakot is usually the coach. Kung, very authoritarian siya, but the fact that Phil is a lot hands off and ika nga the Zen master, right? So the fact that Jordan is the more authoritative, he's the more demanding, he's the more scary, ika nga. It's, I guess, really a testament to how much people, as much as they feared him, respected him. Because if you mess up on one little thing, like, you're gonna hear a lot from MJ. Now, sabi nga ni Enzo, is it really worth taking it personal? Well, that's for us. That's for the viewers to decide. But again, Jordan's competitive nature, as misunderstood as it may be, like, it just really makes me thankful na this documentary was released at this particular time. Kasi sobrang daming disrespect na he's been getting, over the past years now. Oh, anyone can play in his era, or this guy played in that era. He'd be equally as good, if not better. But by getting these tapes, like, it really makes us think, talaga ba? Like, can our generation of NBA players today handle man lang the physicality, the pressure, the verbal abuse of some of these alpha dogs back in the 80s and 90s? So, napapaisip ka talaga. And most importantly, you really appreciate the hard work, the sacrifice, the blood, sweat, and tears that, MJ had to go through his entire life. And again, with regards to him being a toxic teammate, it's misunderstood, and we have different styles of leadership, and I guess whatever works. So now my balance, which is why, again, have to give super props talaga to Phil Jackson for keeping the environment balance for toning it down when it needs to be toned down. I think that's really the key elements to a successful dynasty, which in this case was the Chicago Bulls. So those are just my few cents on these two episodes as well as the series so far.
Yeah, and what we mentioned before in the previous episodes na there's so much angles to this series na you can look at. Na it's not all about basketball. So it still stands to what we saw in these episode 7 and 8. Which I'm pretty sure will also carry over to episodes 9 and 10 to be seen next week. The finale. Hopefully we get all the guys back by then para mas full force tayo when it comes to the finale next week. No? Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Meron ako natutunan ngayon. Natutunan. Hulaan nyo, ilang taon na si Ahmad Rashad.
Uy, kula ko mga 50-ish, 55, ganyan.
Yo, Jake.
Yes.
Mga 63, mga early 60s.
60s?
Yung guess ko.
Ilan taon na?
Nagulat ako. Yung edad pala niya, 70.
Ha? So, 70 siya, yung mga NBA inside stuff nung 90s, ilang years yun? 30? 30 years ago?
Mga 40s.
Mga 40s na siya nun, kumbaga.
Hindi, kahit sabihin natin yung mga 2000s na eh. Yung mga latter inside stuff episodes. Mga 50s na siya nun.
What the F? Ganun pala sa katanda.
What?
Pero itim pa rin yung buhok niya.
Itim ako eh. Ano siya eh, baby face eh.
Wow, interesting trivia. Yan.
Meron tayong breaking news.
Uy. Yan.
Kai Soto. Nag-sign sa G League.
Yes, nakita ko.
Teka, ano yan? To where? Ngayon lang.
42 minutes ago, post ni Shams Charania.
Anong team?
Yung sa Southern California, na bagong G
Bago
League
na ba to?
team.
Wow. So paano yun? Pa-draft ba siya? Skip college. Ah, shit. Okay, so we'll see what happens here, no? 7-foot center from the Philippines has decided to skip college and will be the first international draft prospect to sign a deal in the NBA G League Pro program. Which is, hindi ko alam kung ano yun. Yun parang ganang program ang G League. I don't know, man. He's gonna skip college. What do you think? I don't know. So, okay, this. Total, dito tayo. For me, this move will either make or break his career.
Yeah.
Yan, kayo. What do you think?
Well, kasi nag-G League na siya, so sweldo na siya.
Oo.
So, kumbaga, ma-injure man siya, knock on wood, naman sa akin. Meron siya financial security, kumbaga, kahit pa paano.
Okay.
Unlike kung mag-aral siya, wala siya makuha.
Jake.
Well, coming from a family.
Watch mo ba siya? Watch it mo ba siya?
No. Parang he graduated high school last year lang. Junior high lang yan, I think.
Kasi ito na yun. You're older pa rin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Older pa rin ako. Well, for me, coming from a family of educators, we value education talaga. Like, I'm sure UP, Ateneo, and all the other schools talaga. Kaya nga student athlete, right? Student first, athlete second. Pero understandable din kasi we all know the NCAA, how corrupt they've been the past few years. Sobrang sketchy din yung mga developments nila. And I guess kudos then to the NBA or to the G League for initiating this new program that will pay these youngsters. Pero yung hope ko lang, sana, should he decide to pursue this, hopefully he has time pa rin to, get a degree. Because iba pa rin to say na, I was one of those people in my family who actually finished school, who actually worked for a degree that has a different sense of, it has a different sense of success or a different sense of achievement na nakapagtapos ka ng college. Like, that's still a big deal, regardless of where you studied in. So, I don't know, hopefully sa future, once he's figured out the waters of, the G League college, hopefully he continues pursuing his education. Because for us lang, for me lang at least, yun pa rin yung pinakamahalaga sa lahat.
Definitely. And not only the degree itself, but the experience basketball-wise din, eh, no?
Yeah.
So he's been, what, in the States for a year or two, but then he hasn't really played competitive basketball as in like a league type. So we'll see. Anyway, we'll make an episode with that issue sometime this week. Total na pag-usapan na natin. And yeah, let's research more about that issue since may pro program pala ang G League. So let's see, and make an episode out of that sometime soon. But then, yeah, this has been The Last Dance, episodes 7 and 8. Anything else? Okay na kayo, no? Wrap this up. Thank you once again. This has been Maroon Talk. Maraming po salamat sa inyo lahat. See you guys next week for the finale. Thank you, everyone. Peace.
Bye!
Bye.
Bye, guys.